All right, folks, welcome to this weekly webinar, July 12th edition, online payments with Nelnet Payment Services in JMC. My name's Jake Vansko. I am hosting today, and I am uber excited to have Alex, who's a representative of NPS, Nelnet Payment Services, here to speak on Nelnet Payment Services behalf and give his perspective on how online payments works with JMC and our partner Nelnet. Alex, do you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Jake. Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Lowe, and I'm the Partner Relationship Specialist with Nelnet Payment Services. I primarily work with JMC on the merchant account inquiry side. So if you submit a request on our form to open a merchant account, you will most likely be interacting with me.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And also on this call, we've got several other folks on this webinar, including Eric Doyle. Eric, do you want to say hi?
Hello, everyone. Eric Doyle, head of tech support at JMC. So I'm the one that you'll interact with when you sign up. I'm the one that will send you an email with the questions that need to be answered, et cetera, on your setup of the JMC side of things. So that's where I come into play.
Wonderful. So just to kind of level set everybody, the purpose of this shared webinar today is to make this process transparent for our users that are wishing to use online payments with JMC. And to introduce this partnership that we have between JMC and Nelnet Payment Services to provide you, all of our schools, with this wonderful online payment opportunity here. So today we're thrilled to introduce our partnership with Nelnet Payment Services. You might have known them by a previous name in a previous lifetime, but we'll be referring to them as NPS for today. Through our collaboration with NPS, we provide you with the essential tools to utilize online payment features in the JMC Family Portal and the JMC Family mobile app. This feature offers families the convenience of making lunch deposits, tuition and fees payments, and purchases anytime, anywhere from their mobile devices or computers. So today we're going to give you some live looks. We're going to show you what it takes to get started with online payments with JMC. If you're brand new to online payments with JMC, we're going to show you kind of what to expect with this. We'll briefly show you what it looks like to make payments from the JMC family end. We do have a lot of resources on that, so we won't go into a lot of depth with that, but I'll just show you briefly how it works. We'll introduce you to some of the reporting tools that JMC has to offer, and also some reporting tools that NPS has to offer. And then we'll talk briefly about our support. One of the major reasons that we are partnering with NPS is we have similar values as a company. NPS prides themselves on the customer support that they provide. And as you know, we at JMC also pride ourselves on the client services support that we provide. So without further ado, if you have any questions, please feel free to chime in on our chat feature, using our chat feature. And Denise, hopefully Denise is around. Denise can person the questioning for this.
I'm here. Yep, I'll take care of the questions for you, Jake. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So getting started with online payments. Getting started with online payments in JMC is super easy, and I'm just going to take you on the live look here of where to go to start with online payments. So if you are on your JMC homepage, you can head to this in-app help widget right down here, and you can search for getting started with online payments with JMC. So if you search getting started with JMC's online payments, this is going to take you to an article where we step out the process. Alex, I believe, is going to speak to the specifics of the inquiry form, which is where you would begin with Nelnet Payment Services. This is where your introduction to them would go. So Alex, I'm going to stop my screen share.
Okay, and I'm just going to share my screen here. All right, can everybody see that?
We sure can.
Okay. So everyone, what I'm going to do is queue up a video clip for you that will walk you through the merchant account inquiry process that you will follow once JMC sends you to us. Then I also just want to advise that the audio here might be a little soft over the broadcast, so please feel free to adjust your volume as you need. All right, here we go. Nelnet Payment Services is the preferred payments provider for JMC Family Portal and JMC Family Mobile App. JMC will provide your school contact with a link to Nelnet's simple inquiry form as seen here. Complete and submit this form to let us know that you are interested in establishing a merchant account. Please note the pricing information summary located at the center of the page, as well as the note below regarding the annual fee for up to 2 merchant accounts. While not required, multiple merchant accounts allow for deposits to separate bank accounts for different funds, such as lunch payments and activity payments. Complete the fields to the right, providing business contact information, as well as indicating the number of accounts needed. If you need multiple accounts, please indicate what the accounts will be used for, as well as which account you will wish for the annual fee to be billed to. After this form has been submitted, an application link will be sent for each account desired within 1 to 2 business days. Okay, so that concludes that segment. I'm going to let Jake take it back. Jake, you're on mute.
That might be why my audio was terrible. Can everybody hear me okay? I'm sorry. I know my, I think my audio might have been cutting out there at the beginning of this call. Denise, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you much better now. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Now that I'm not on mute. But, so just to reiterate on this process, to get us started here, if you head in JMC office, you can search for getting started with online payments. And it is going to take you to an article that looks like this. Getting started with JMC's online payments module. It has all of the instructions listed here, including a link to that inquiry form that Alex spoke to. Once you click on that link, you'll fill in the fields just as Alex had indicated, and that would be your introduction to Nelnet Payment Services. So does anybody have any questions about that inquiry form? Is there anything coming through there, Denise?
Well, you are cutting out a little bit. So, but I caught all of that, and I hope everybody else did too, but you did cut out for a few seconds.
Oh, great. Am I back? Can you hear me now?
Sounds good.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, sweet. So with that, if there aren't any questions on the inquiry form through NPS, I'd like to invite Alex to speak a little bit about the merchant onboarding process, which is kind of the second phase of this process. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. I'm going to kick it over to Alex.
Okay, I'll just take it back here. All right, can everyone see that?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. All right, so everyone, this time we will be walking you through the merchant account application process, which will be covered in this clip. So I'm going to go ahead and start that. Nelnet Payment Services administers the merchant application through a secure and easy-to-use online sign-up tool. Each application takes about 10 to 15 minutes to complete. Once the application link has been provided to your school, click the unique URL to begin. Prior to beginning the application, it is recommended that you gather the information noted here, including exact legal business name used on tax documents, federal tax ID or EIN, legal address and mailing address if different, identify identification information of owners or managers as required by the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, bank account information and blank check or bank letter for validation. Please ensure the accompanying bank documentation includes current routing and account numbers, and that the business information matches what you've provided on your application. Lastly, business open date and other basic information about your business. It is important that you complete the fields listed on each page to the best of your ability. Inaccurate or mismatching information could cause delays and impact your go-live date. Click the Next button located at the bottom of each page to advance through the application. Refer to the instructions and tooltips on each page for additional guidance. For further assistance during business hours, contact a Nelnet Payment Services team member. Should you begin the application but need to come back to it at a later time, click the Finish Later link at the bottom of the application page. Simply enter your email address and we'll send you a secure link allowing you to come back to the appropriate URL and pick up where you left off. Once the application is complete, a contact with signing authority at your school will electronically agree to the terms and conditions and submit the application to Nelnet Payment Services. Soon after, a team member will begin to review the information provided by your school. Our review takes 2 to 3 business days. If any questions arise during the review, Nelnet Payment Services will reach out via email or phone to the business contact information provided. Once the application review is complete and your merchant account is live, Nelnet Payment Services will send a welcome email for each new merchant account to the application signer containing important next steps and access information. Okay, so that concludes that clip. I'm going to let Jake take it back again.
Thank you very much. So as Alex said in the video there, once you have filled out your merchant onboarding paperwork and received that email stating that you're ready to roll with online payments, that's when, from the JMC side, first off, are there any questions about the merchant onboarding process?
No questions at this time, Jake.
Sweet, perfect. So as I was saying, now that NPS has stepped in and established that relationship with your school, and that's when we get involved from the JMC end, and the online payment settings. This is nothing that you have to do, and perhaps Eric will speak a little bit to this, but on the I'm in JMC office on online payment settings page. You're going to notice on the lunch settings and the tuition and fee settings, some of the information that you supplied to us and to NPS is going to be set for you on this page. Eric, do you have anything to say about this page here?
Just that this is something we take care of for you. We make those adjustments when you get it. Normally, the way the process now works is if you're one of our current schools and you let our sales team know that you want to proceed forward with getting our online payments module and working with NPS. When that happens, Paul, our head of sales, lets me know and gives me your email address, and I will immediately send you the questions needing answered, like, what you want to charge your parents, your minimum maximum deposits, et cetera, et cetera. There's just a few questions that go on these tabs of how you want it set up. And then if you email me back immediately, I will keep those until NPS emails both your district and me that your accounts are ready to go. And then when I get that information that they're ready to go, I then go into your JMC and get this all set up. If I hadn't heard from sales that you wanted it, at that point, I would email your school and ask for these questions to be answered. But at some point we get this all set up, and then I email whoever your contact is, letting them know that it's all set up, giving you some tips and tricks, and then also giving you videos of how to work with online payments, and also recommending that you contact our training team. So that's what happens at that point. We get involved, get things set up and ready to go, and I give you some information back, and you're ready proceed forward.
Awesome. Appreciate the explanation there, Eric. Any questions about, so this page is already configured for you. It's here for your review, but there's nothing actionable on this page. You couldn't edit this if you wanted to. So you can review your answers to those questions that you supplied on this page, essentially. So Denise, any questions about coming through regarding the online payment settings in JMC?
No, Jake.
Wonderful, thank you very much. So now I'm going to briefly take you through making payments in the JMC Family Portal and the JMC Family app. So if I pop over to the JMC Family Portal, once online payments is activated, your families will be able to log into their family site here. You're getting a look at the tuition and fees page right now. I'm suspecting that I am experiencing some connectivity issues again, and I apologize for this, folks. You gotta love the internet. It's been working all day long, I'll tell you. So let's go. While we are spinning here, if anybody has any amusing anecdotes or anything that they would like to share, I would. Here we go. All right,
Jake, I just want to let you know that I fully sympathize with internet connectivity issues.
it really never rears its ugly head until it's absolutely, a resource that you're going to want to continually use for the rest of the school year. But once your families or once you are set up for online payments, your families will be able to access through tuition and fees and through the family app, which I do not have anything to show you through the family app right now, but they'll be able to make their payments through. I don't know, Denise, if this is something that you can get rolling on your end, if you can share your screen, that might be, oh, here we go. So it's pretty simple. Once they have a charge listed for them, you can pay my bill. If I'm paying towards a fee, I can select the fee. And now I can enter my credit card information or my bank account information to make this payment. Once the payment is made, that's where NPS is going to handle this payment through the background. You will accept the payment in JMC office, and that's where you'll be able to review. So that's just a short introduction to how you would make a payment in the tuition and fees module. The same with the lunch module. You can make an online deposit through the lunch module as well. You can use saved accounts. Enter the minimum deposit amount, or however much you would like to deposit at the time. Click submit, and then that payment is going to go through the office portal. So any questions coming through? I know that was probably chopped because I have an unstable internet connection at the moment, but hopefully enough information is getting through that it makes sense. So Denise, any questions?
No, it was perfect. We do have one question here. It's about the feedback. Is the fee applicable for both the credit card option and the bank account option if they sign up with Nelnet? Is the fee applicable for both credit card and the bank account option?
Yes, that's correct. You'll have the same fee whether you use a credit card or they use an ACH account. The fee amount that you charge the parents is the same.
So the thing that I would add to this is, what your parents are paying for is a convenience fee. So I think everything is, this is pretty much standard operating procedure anymore. If you want the convenience of making this payment from your living room or from your phone, you're going to pay that convenience fee. If you don't want to pay that convenience fee, you can still always go to your school and write the check or hand the cash over. So that's all I would add. You know, when I know, you know, there's a couple bucks added on to my online payments, it's much more convenient for me to, you know, it's worth the couple of bucks or whatever it is to make that payment right from my phone. So any other questions, Denise?
That's it. Thank you, Jake.
I'm going to add to this, Jake. A lot of times when I send the questions out to schools, they ask me back, well, what's the norm? There isn't one. There is no norm. There's schools that charge anywhere from $0 up to $5. It's really up to your school to decide what makes sense. And if you're not quite sure, you can do it, and whether the amount that you're charging makes sense to your school, and it can always be changed. So if you think you're charging too much or not enough, you'll always be able to email us and we can change the fee that you're charging to your parents at any time, and we can update that. So just kind of up to your school and what makes sense for your school. One of the things we are finding, though, is that a lot of schools are charging $0, and when they do that, they get a lot more parents to actually put in lunch money and pay for their tuition and fees because they're not getting charged anything. So for schools, that's really important that, you know, you put it at $0 and they do get people to actually pay. So that's something to consider too.
Well, Eric, we do have one more question. It says, what about the fee that Nelnet takes on their end? I think it's 3.99%, correct? You had just said that's added on, so you have to take that into account, right?
Yeah, it's 3.99% for credit cards. It's 1.99% for ACH. So that is what Nelnet will charge your school for each of those kind of transactions. And then at that point, you have to decide, you know, the fee that you charge to parents to try to make that up, or whether you want to or not, whether you think that's something that your district can just go ahead and absorb, because you might get parents charging them $0. You might get parents to pay more of their fees because they're not getting charged anything. So
that's a really good point. We have one more question from Janelle. She said, can our district cancel the lunch portion of the online payment since lunch is free for all in Minnesota? Does it cost our district to have the lunch and the tuition and fees? So Eric, can you answer, does it cost for, if they have two accounts,
no, the fees that are charged by Nelnet, NPS, is based on up to two bank accounts. So we can turn it off at the JMC end of things. We can uncheck it, and then parents can't go in and make payments, so that the only place it would show up in JMC is under tuition and fees. So yes, they can do that. The thing you have to remember is that doesn't, for Minnesota, that doesn't cover a la carte items. So just remember that, yes, Minnesota is going to be charged. Students are not going to be charged for lunch, but that's only meals, regular meals, not a la carte. So you still want to make sure you have a way for parents to put money into their accounts for kids to buy a la carte items. Now, if your school doesn't allow kids to charge a la carte items, they must pay cash, then yeah, there's really no reason in Minnesota to have parents put money into their account, as long as those parents are up to date. So it's kind of up to you. If you want to turn it off and then make parents write a check or whatever, yeah, you can do that. You just let us know. We would then uncheck the box for lunch, and then there wouldn't be a button there anymore for parents to make lunch deposits.
Thank you, Eric.
Awesome, that's great. Any other questions coming through? We ready to roll on?
Keep rolling.
Awesome. These were some great questions. It's some good information for everybody to have. So I appreciate you asking the questions. So we're going to briefly talk about the processing of online payments. And really the biggest thing to understand from this slide here is JMC is the interface used by the payer for making payments and the school for accounting functions. Nelnet Payment Services is the conduit that facilitates those transactions. So JMC is not the bank. We're not handling any of the money from either side. We are merely the interface that your parents use to make that payment, and then on the office side for tracking that payment. Underneath the hood, what's happening in the background, and this is why we partner with Nelnet Payment Services, is they function essentially as the bank to make that payment happen. So anything to add, either Eric or Alex, do you have anything to add about the processing of payments?
I don't at this time.
Occasionally, we will get questions about issuing refunds and things like that. And we're going to talk about the reporting side of that in the next slide here. JMC does not hold the money, so we can't give money back to anybody, I guess is the key takeaway from that. So any questions about the processing of payments?
No, keep going.
All right, wonderful. So the reporting tools at your disposal. So in JMC, we have a few different reporting tools. First off, if you're working in lunch or tuition and fees, we've got several reports regarding anything from meals served to balance sheets to last payment details and things of that nature. So utilize all of the lunch reports to view any of the payments that have come through to the JMC side, whether they be online payments or payments that are made in person. The same goes true. I'm getting another notification that I have an unstable internet connection. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Same holds true with the tuition and fees portion. We have several different reports, balance sheets reports. You can also view transaction histories for either tuition and fees and lunch. This is under the family lunch data or the student lunch data. You can see a record of transaction histories if there were any right in there. For the online payments, we do have a report for online payments made. So you can see for a date whether or not the status has been settled, the online payment has been settled, who it's come through with. Eric, do you have anything to add about this report? We do get some questions on occasion about online payments reporting in JMC. So do you have anything that you'd like to add before I kick it to Alex and so he can show the NPS side of the reporting?
Well, this report now, and I don't know if you can find one, like a tuition and fee. Go to a tuition and fee and see if it has a breakdown of what was paid for. So go up to tuition and fee payment type up there and see if you have anything that, and you may not. Do you have something in last year? But what you'll find now is this will, for tuition and fees, it'll show the amount, and then you click on the arrow on the left and it'll have a breakdown of exactly which items and how much they cost to pay for. So this report has changed. It's one of the requests that we had, that it would show the breakdown of what was paid for. And yeah, it doesn't look like, if you go, it's up at the top. It wouldn't be that far down. It's right at the top. Scroll up.
Sorry. Trying to find one that might.
I don't know. Yeah, that one.
So we've got a description in here.
You'd have to have one that shows up, but it shows right at the very top there. It shows the breakdown, since you'd almost, well, I don't know that you're going to see that on one of our test sites because it's not real data. So
Yeah, yep, absolutely. So,
but that is new. So if you had multiple items you paid for one payment, those would be broken down. When you click on the arrow, it'll show you exactly what items they were and how much you paid for them. So.
Gotcha. All right, sweet. So Alex, here I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then you can show a little bit of the NPS side of reporting with the NPS dashboard here. So.
All right, I will bring that up. Okay, so hello again, everyone. This is the last video clip that we have for you on our side, and it is a walkthrough of some of the features of our Gateway dashboard. So I will start this now. The bulk of your reporting needs will be met by JMC. However, you will need access to Nelnet Payment Services Gateway Dashboard to configure and enable payment receipts, issue refunds, and locate batch and remittance or settlement details. Gateway Dashboard access information is provided in the welcome email from Nelnet Payment Services. It is sent to the application signer upon approval and completion of the merchant account. Upon login to the Gateway Dashboard, you will see your merchant DBA name at the top of the page, although it has been redacted in this example. The graph shown here displays payment totals for the prior 30 days. If your school opted for multiple merchant accounts, you can toggle between the accounts by locating the drop-down in the top left-hand corner and selecting the applicable DBA name. Next, we will give you a brief look at a few of the dashboard sections that will be most useful to you. Customers. You can locate and view stored customer records here. Clicking on the record itself will display advanced information, including saved payment methods. Payments. Review and search for payments to view payment details as well as issue any necessary refunds. Reconciliation. The reconciliation feature allows you to reconcile daily deposits to your bank statement. Click the icon at the right-hand side to show more details for a given deposit. For more detailed transaction data, such as who made what payments and for which specific items or categories, such as tuition, lunch, registration fees, and so on, refer to JMC's reporting. Sonar. Here you can review any returns for ACH transactions. They will appear as a list in order of oldest to most recent and display the payer name, original transaction date, return date, as well as return reason. Once you've reviewed the return, you can dismiss and remove as needed. Account. Add your account details, customize your receipt templates, invite additional team members to the dashboard, as well as enable additional security settings. Need help? Check out the Resource Center, the question mark icon at the bottom left-hand corner, to access additional tools and resources, as well as our client service team's contact information. And this concludes the tour. Check out the onboarding guide within the Resource Center for more tips for new users. That concludes that segment. Jake, do you want to take it back?
Sure thing. So do we have any questions coming through regarding either the JMC side or the NPS side of reporting? I would say just a last bit I would throw in here, 90% of your transactions, 99% of your transactions are going to go through without a hitch. If you have issues in case there's funding issues or refund necessities, you might need to use a combination of reports to make this happen, both from the NPS side and the JMC side. So those would be probably the two biggest takeaways from the reports section of this presentation, I would say. So any questions coming through, Denise, on reporting? Yes, Eric.
I'd like to make a comment on that. So the reason you would use their dashboard, it's probably the first one is to make a refund. So this is, if a parent just writes a check and gives it to you and you manually put it into JMC, that's all done right in JMC, where you can just refund that payment and then write them a check back, etc. But if you make an online payment, you don't do that through JMC. You do that through Nelnet in their dashboard. You'd go find that customer, you'd go and find that payment, and then you do a refund on that. Now, and then once that refund is approved or done correctly in the Nelnet side, they then send it back through JMC and it shows up, and in JMC it shows as a refund, and then you can, once that refund comes through, you can then delete the charge tied to that refund. But the refunds for online payments is done through Nelnet in their dashboard. You can do a full refund, which is what we would like to see you do of the amount, or you can do a partial. The problem is with a partial is that it really doesn't come back to JMC because Nelnet doesn't know anything about partial, number of items or items paid for, et cetera. So they now will have a nice little note on there when you try to do a partial refund that gives you some instructions on what you need to do once you do the partial refund, that you need to contact JMC and give us those details so that we can make everything in JMC look correct. But and the other piece you would use their dashboard for is to run all their reports. So those are the two big things you would use their dashboard for.
So Eric, if I'm following you, the best practice, or a best practice, so to speak, is if somebody makes an online payment for, say they bought 7 football tickets and they only needed 3, and they wanted to return those 4, the best practice would probably be just to issue the refund for all 7 and then recharge for the correct amount. Is that
that would be the easiest way on everybody's part, because what happens is when you do a refund for the entire amount, it gets refunded back to the credit card. It comes through to JMC. The person in JMC office can then go in and delete the charge, and then they can recharge the parent for the right amount and they can pay it. Or the parent can go into the parent portal. If it's an item that they can pick and choose what they want to, they can then, pick and choose only 4 tickets, pay it, and it's done. Some cases it's a pain to do that because you might want to just refund 1 item out of 8. Well, at that point, a partial refund would be best. So it's really up to the school how they want to do it. If it's just 2 items, but again, the easiest way is to refund the full amount and then just charge them back for the right amount and they pay it again.
understood? So essentially the path of least resistance. Understand what you're trying to do and choose the easiest way to do it, basically. Wonderful. Any questions on that? Thank you for that information.
Not right now.
Perfect. So last little bit we'll talk about is our support tools. Prior to us weighing in on our support tools, I'll kick this over to Alex to let him explain support through NPS.
Okay. I will bring my screen up now. Okay, so getting support from Nelnet Payment Services is pretty simple. You can go to that aforementioned Gateway Dashboard Resource Center, the FAQs and how-to guides and so forth. You can also contact our team member, a member of our team, excuse me. The phone number is 866-431-4637. It is open during regular business hours, Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday. And you can also email us anytime at nps-clientservices@nelnet.net. And we will get back to you as soon as we can. And I'll let Jake take it back.
Thank you very much. And as always, with JMC's support,
We've got one more question, Jake. Jamie said, I joined a little late, so I missed the first 5 minutes. If we said we want to start as soon as we can after completing the form through Nelnet, what is the turnaround to having it up and ready for the families to use? One of my secretaries looked into it last year and they said it can take several months to have it ready to use.
I think I'll let Alex and Eric speak to that, but
generally the standard is 2 to 3 business days, depending on the urgency expressed. If you reach out to us and say we really want to get going on this, we can put it high priority or put a rush on it. But we generally go by generally say 2 to 3 business days from when you submit your completed application to being able to go live.
As far as the DMC side, as long as you have given us the answers to our questions, once NPS is done with their end, then they email, I usually get them done that day. So it's up and running that day. But again, I've had some delays in those because I haven't had the questions answered. So, and sometimes that can be harder in the summer because they might have to go to boards of education or to administrators to get help on how to answer the questions, and people may be on vacation, et cetera. So, but as soon as we have the questions and NPS is done, can usually get that done in that day. So I would tell you, just do it as soon as possible, because as we get closer to the start of the school year, I think those times will start to slow down some because they could have more schools doing it. So just get it done as soon as possible.
I think where that,
And
yeah, sorry, go ahead, Alex.
yeah, just to build on Eric's point there, the onboarding process can also depend on responsiveness. So if we're reviewing your application and need to follow up or have some follow-up questions, the sooner we get a response, the sooner we can move it along.
I think the one thing that I would add to that is, on our instructions, we put in there that your account should be activated within 30 to 60 days. What we are accounting for in there is some of that back and forth if it's necessary. So, much like what Eric said, if you're prudent about answering the questions and getting back in case there's follow-up needed, from an NPS side and from a JMC side, you're going to hear back from one of us within 2 to 3 business days. But if you're setting this up during the summer and collecting some of that information on your end as a school might take a little bit of time. So there are financial decisions that need to be made. So we built that into kind of our projection. So if you're getting started with online payments, the idea behind that is we don't want to lull you into a false sense of security that if you need this up and running tomorrow, we're going to flip a switch and get it done tomorrow. So that's just something to think about as you enter into this venture. So there are some moving parts to it. There is going to be some back and forth, and we just want to prepare you as much as possible. If you look down on this, the form here, you'll see some of those questions that you're being asked. So if you're wondering of what you might need to take back to school boards or administrators and things like that, some of this information is located right on this article here. So you can be upfront with some of that. So any other questions before I speak to JMC support side of things?
No questions, Jake. Thank you.
Sweet. All right. So as far as JMC support is concerned, a couple things that we would like to point out. If you are brand new to tuition and fees, you're brand new to lunch, you're brand new to online payments, we would highly recommend you reaching out to one of our training team members. You can email training@jmcinc.com. We will make sure you get all the resources that you need for getting started with online payments. We will set up a Q&A session with one of our trainers. So you can ask any questions about getting started, about training your office users, about training your families. We would highly recommend you check out our resources on our YouTube channel. You can go to YouTube and type in JMCINC to access our training channel. We've got a whole host of lunch and tuition and fees tools available for you. We also would invite you to check out our help center. Not only this article, but we have a full collection of online payments articles as well. And then once you've exhausted your opportunities there, if you're looking for immediate assistance in that regard, we also have our tech support. If you're looking for something that is, you're not sure if something is working correctly, or if you have any questions, you can always call our 800 number, which is in the upper right-hand corner of JMC's homepage, or you can email support@jmcinc.com. So am I missing anything as far as the support side in JMC? If you have any questions with online payments, if there are any questions, if not, we're chugging through to the finish line on this one. So JMC news and upcoming events. July is a hot training month for a lot of our new users. We have a new user series going on. We'd like to invite you folks to check out our All About Elementary Scheduling, our 360 view for families on the go, and our refresh rollout that's prior to our summer conference, which happens the first week of August. We'll be up in Minneapolis and August 1st, and in Ankeny, Iowa on August 4th. We'll be hosting happy hours and doing all kinds of fun stuff for that. So we'd love to see you out there. We have our new administrator workshop coming up on the 8th of August. So if you are a new administrator, or if you have some new administrators in your building, we'd highly recommend that you check out those new user series, including your administrators. And we have some on the horizon for your teachers as well. And if you're interested in tuition and fees, on the 26th of July, we have a Digging into Tuition and Fees new user series webinar where we cover not only online payments, but we'll show you how to make payments in JMC Family. We'll show you how to upload fees, charge fees to families in bulk or individually. All the things that you're going to need to know for tuition and fees are in that webinar. As I mentioned, the summer conference, we're adding a couple pieces to our summer conference. We've got implementation sessions. So during our breakout sessions, you're going to get to work with your team and our team on implementing some of these new features that we're rolling out, including the general store, the community messenger, new grade acceptance, the flex scheduler, and all sorts of great stuff there. We are also introducing the 2023 think tank. If you have an idea, please submit it to marketing@jmcinc.com, and our developers on site will actually implement your idea if it's selected right there into the program, and you'll get to watch and see how the sausage is made, so to speak. We invite you to register today. Registration is now open for those Minnesota and Iowa summer conferences. The school that sends the most participants to a summer conference can earn a pizza party for your school. Check out our Eventbrite page. You can click that link that's going to be in the description of this YouTube video to sign up, or you can click the link that's right in the middle of your JMC homepage to sign up for our summer conference. Also, as mentioned before, check out the new user series that we have going from now through October. We'll be setting up those foundational skills in JMC as new users, new office users, new teachers. Every Wednesday, the first Wednesday began in June. We have those, the June and early July webinars available on the YouTube channel. And you can also search JMC Summer Training in that help center, and you can view all of our upcoming training opportunities there. As always, we invite you to be social with us. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn @OnlineJMC, or check out our blog at jmc.com/news. For Alex from the folks at NPS, we really super appreciate you guys joining us today. Eric, I appreciate you joining us from a tech side. Denise, we appreciate all your help answering the questions. And for Jake, and we're hoping to see you very soon at the summer conference in person. And thank you for choosing JMC. We'll catch you on the flip side.